What is up, OSIMA Ball Reviews? Keegan here, and today we're going to be reviewing the Storm Infinite Physics. Now, this won't be one of our typical reviews where we actually feature comparisons, but this is going to be strictly talking about the individual ball's reaction. We will be doing separate comparison videos going forward, just to do a little bit more of an in-depth comparison and talk about the more nuanced differences in ball reaction. Now, the Storm Infinite Physics is the newest piece in the PhysiX line, featuring REX Pearl at 4000 grit. Now, REX is that hybrid blend of R2S and NEX. So, and with it having the same core, I honestly think this ball is going to be pretty similar to the original PhysiX. That video coming later. But let's talk about actual core specs for people who don't know them. We've got an RG of 2.48, which is a relatively low RG, a differential of 53, which is on the medium high side of things, and an asymmetry of 17. And compared to the other ball that also has REX on it, comparison coming later, the dart code, those numbers kind of point to it just being smoother overall. Like, it's going to be a little bit earlier, but smoother off the break point. So, not an extreme amount of difference in like paper specs, but a good amount on lane. But we can't really start talking about the Infinite Physics until we're actually on lane with it. So let's. Alright. So on lane, you can see that this ball is really smooth off the end of the pattern for a pro ball. Now, granted, part of that's the surface. It's a box surface, which we will talk about later. But it's a lot smoother than I was expecting it to be, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I was pleasantly surprised by it. Adding it together, I think that this ball is going to be a stronger original PhysiX, because it does remind me of it, the good blend from the mid lane to the back end, and this slightly smoother reaction. Really does remind me of the original. I will say it does get through the heads just a little bit less than the original. It reaches that a little bit sooner. But I'm not going to say that's a bad thing just yet. The only thing is that does get the limitation of it kind of needing volume in the heads in order to get down the lane, which was something I did kind of experience near the end of filming here. I mean, you can kind of see it starting to roll out and burn some energy, but I'm not going to say that's a bad thing, because this ball is just really controllable, especially like looking at the sum of its parts. The atomic core has always been very windy and boomy, and REX Pearl has been, well, I mean, in my experience with it, has been very on the quickest side of smooth possible. I would never actually call it quick, but it's definitely like in that kind of like middle range. But it's a good ball. I really think this one is going to see a lot of use on the like heavier conditions and longer patterns, simply because of how much it does read, which is always a good thing. Now, it may not stay like that. This is box finish. I do not believe in box finish. Box finish is not really replicable. I threw it for the review because I know most people don't change the surface. That's what I do for every review. I do not change box surface. Most people will not change it, so no point in me changing it. I'm actually going to bring this to a 4000 finish, if not like a 5000 finish, to get the shape that I'm kind of looking for more from it. I actually would like a little bit more responsiveness. So I'm going to use it on a house shot just because of how much energy it did burn up. But I think this one was a little bit dull, but I'm not going to complain about that. On a sports shot, that would be great. But let's dive in and actually see where this would fit into a bag. I think if you have something like a gym or a reality or a proton physics, I think if you did shine this up and actually got it to like a high 4,000, like an actual like high, like go fast on the ball spinner with the 4,000 pad, or even a polished finish, I think it would be a great compliment to them. However, the finish that mine was out of box, I feel would be too rough and too smooth. And I feel it would almost be a competition, or it would just be a shape variation. Which isn't a bad thing. It's just not, I wouldn't try to have both of them in the same bag if you're limited on what you can take. Now, even if you did polish it, I'm still saying that's going to be like that's your one ball. It's still one ball, it's one ball strength. It's a strong ball. So let's talk about complements to it. Box surface at that 4,000, I would say get like a Zen or a UC2 or a Phase 3 to pair with it in order to have something a little bit sharper. Something that can get down the lane cleaner compared to it. Or if you're keeping it polished, go for something like a Phase 2. Or go for something like an Idle Helios. Just those bowling balls that while they're not the most like traction and diggy ball, because they do have a fair bit of shape to them, they're going to still be like a good shape complement versus something like extremely different or extremely similar. Then after that, I would recommend moving to an IQ Tour type shape, something just rolly, continuous, but still middle of the road and hook potential. Just because that's IQ Tour is kind of like that sport shot staple type thing. But it also gives a little bit more separation from it to the bottom piece, or to the fourth slot, which I would say go for like a High Road Pearl. The High Road Pearl has been surging in popularity recently for a reason. It's a good ball, and I feel that in that progression, pretty much no matter what's above it or in between it and the Infinite Physics, the shapes can actually kind of coexist really, really well, in the fact that if you're starting a little bit straighter with the Infinite, once you're actually moving left, that High Road should be able to take advantage of the friction that has been created. Then after that, I would say pick your favorite color of Electrify or Hustle or Burner and just put whatever surface you like on it. The fifth slot, I feel, is not a place that a lot of people do get to, unless you're bowling like 10 game blocks, because then you're having to balance, core, like actually having something that has enough strength to get back from that deep without over responding with the cover. I don't like the hypes for that reason, or not the hype, but I haven't tried the hybrid. I will try the hybrid. But I think this is a good starting place for an arsenal for your big ball. So are pretty much all the other balls in the line. I am very much considering getting a reality check because I like what I've seen from it, but yeah, I've really enjoyed this piece, and I'm excited to see what I do with it in the future. Now, I have been OSIMA Ball Reviews. Oh shoot, I missed again. Hope I don't miss y'all next time. Thanks for watching.